Hi, I'm John Trishler from Specialty Performance Parts, and today we're going to install the Baja Designs linkable light bar on a 2024 Plus F-150 Raptor, and this works with the 37 package or the R package with the new modular bumper. The new modular bumper has some new bolt locations here in the bumper to hold accessories, and we've designed a new set of brackets for the Baja Designs linkable light bar, and we're going to show you just how easy it is to install those with our plug-and-play harnesses. And let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's go ahead and open this box and take a look at the Baja Designs linkable light bar. So we just have these little tabs here in the front. We're just gonna pull those each out, trying not to knock over our brackets. And we'll just lift this flap, and this is what you're gonna see. All right, so we've got a piece of foam here on top. We'll just discard that for now. And then here is the linkable light bar. And as you see, it's already pre-assembled for you, just like this. And so once we put our other post on, we'll be able to loosen our links here to let it flow and curve a little bit. And then here on the back side, you're gonna notice that they've already got their harness wired in for each light. It's going to leave us with one connector. We're going to be able to plug in our plug and play harness to that. This is going to go up to your switch wires. We're going to have a ground, and we're going to have our main power that we're going to plug into our switches, and it should work. So let's go ahead and get this installed. All right, so now we can go ahead and put our other post on with our screws from our bumper. So we'll just get those started just like so. And you just tighten them down tight enough that just they're flush. We can tighten them down all the way after we're done for our final, kind of fine tune. This way they can still slide in and out for our final adjustment. So we just need an Allen wrench, and we're going to loosen the screws on the top and the bottom side so that the links will swivel. And so we just take our Allen wrench here, and we don't want to take the screws out, we just want to loosen them just a little bit so we can swivel the bar. And don't forget, you need to flip it over because you also have the screws on the bottom that will, you need to loosen up both of them so that you can allow the links to swivel. And now you'll notice, see, now we have a little bit of play in here because we've loosened the top and the bottom. And then once we put it on the truck, we'll be able to kind of guide it and give it a natural curve and tighten these back up. All right, so these additional hardware screws are going to go into the ends on both sides, and then they're going to poke out on both sides. It's best to have some help when you're going to install it. All right, and now, once you've got these started, you'll be able to pull these back and forth here to tighten these up. And we've got this so that you can make it nice and snug, as close to the truck as you can, so it's got a nice tight fit and it's not sticking way out there. And so, make sure that your cords are kind of tucked out of the way, because you've got some connectors and things from Baja, so make sure that those are out of your way. You'll be able to pull this in tight. You'll be able to put an Allen key in here, and you'll be able to tighten this down. And then this is going to kind of take that natural curve of that front bumper. So now we've got this a little bit snug enough that we can still tilt it up and down. And so we can kind of get it where we want and aim it pretty straightforward. That's kind of the idea. So you kind of aim that, get that nice and straight forward. And now we can go ahead and tighten the ends up the rest of the way so that it can't swivel up and down anymore. All right, so now we've got our ends tight, and now we can go ahead and tighten up or pull out in the middle where we've adjusted, let our links loose. If we want to kind of bring that out some or curve that a little bit, we can do that. And we can tighten down these links as we do that. Make sure your cords are not rubbing on anything, just depending on how they're arranged in there. Kind of pull in the middle just a little bit here. Or you need to tighten the bottoms as well. A little bit there. All right, so you'll notice we've got a perfect curve. And earlier we showed you about loosening these links just a little bit on the top and the bottom side. And so all you need to do before you even put it on the truck is, you know, once you loosen those, if you just center this back one here, right in the middle so the space is even on both sides, and each link, that's gonna be the exact curve that you're gonna want for this front. So again, top and bottom, space that evenly apart so that screw is right in the middle of those links. And then when you put it on, it's gonna look exactly like this with just this slight curve all the way across. And that includes your end links as well that attach to the bracket. So all your links exactly right in the center, and that gives you that consistent curve, and you don't have to jack around with it a whole lot that way. But make sure you tighten them both up, top, and bottom when you're done. All right, I want to touch on one other thing here real quick, since we've got our light bar installed here. We didn't use this support. This is a support that comes with your light bar, and Baja Designs sends this out, especially for the longer ones where there's a little bit of sag, you know, where you got some extra weight in the middle because these are all connected together. And the idea with the support is that it's gonna, you know, get in the middle here and kind of lift that up and support that. For normal everyday use, regular road driving, highway driving, you're probably fine with that. This is pretty stout once you get everything bolted in together. And we've made this nice and tight to your front bumper and as far back as can be. So this gives you that nice clean look. The only thing about this support bracket, as you can see, since it's universal from them, it's really long. For this to be applied in its current form, this light bar would stick way out here. And I don't think anybody wants that. They like this nice clean look. You can still, if you're gonna do some heavy off-roading, you could still use this. You're obviously gonna need to slide it forward. This would hit your grill in its position right now. So you just need to cut this excess off to be able to use this support. But again, I don't think it's gonna be necessary for everyday driving because this is solid. You know, it's not gonna go anywhere. So again, unless you're doing really, really heavy off-road use, I think you'll be okay without it. If you did use the support, you're going to remove the side link here in the middle one, and then this is going to attach in between that side link with some additional long screws that come with this support. All right, so now it's just time to do our final installation of our wiring. And so we've got a short light bar harness here. We've got our relay adapter. And we just need to plug that into our harness from our Baja Designs light. This is our Baja Designs connector from their light. They use a white wire for their main power. You notice that there's not a wire in the third location. So the white's in the middle, the black's at the side. If you look at the lettering there, A is black, that's ground. B is the main power. We and most companies use red as a main power wire. So on our harness, in the center, B, red, is that main power. Black, A, is the ground. If you plug this into the light, you're gonna notice that the black lines up to the black, their white lines up to our red. There's nothing in the C slot, which is our white, which is normally for backlight. So if you're using this harness or one of our harnesses for say S8 light bars that have a backlight, then that white wire is going to get used. In this case, it's not. So don't worry about that. So the only thing you have to make sure of is that your white wire stays in your B, and we're going to show you a couple things here real quick. All right, so we showed you your harnesses here. the relay adapter that comes with your kit. You don't actually have to use the relay adapter if you use a 15 amp switch. So your linkable light bar, each of the XL lights are 2.2 amps each, times 6, you're 13.2 amps. Close, but for the most part, I would say that, you know, you still want to have a little bit of extra padding there between your cutoff, but at the 15 amps, I think you'll be all right at the 13.2. If you wanted to eliminate using that relay adapter, you should be able to just plug directly into your switch, as long as it is auxiliary switch number 2 or 3, and 2 and 3 are both 15 amps. So just keep that in mind, and we'll show you how to hook up the rest of your wiring. All right, now in our relay adapter, as you see here, each of the connections is labeled to light harness, battery minus, battery plus, and to switch. So we've got our red wire to harness. We're gonna plug that into our red wire in our harness, just like so. All right, our black wire is our ground. We can plug that into our ground location here, or we can not plug in our ground here and we can just use a ground ring. It's one or the other. You don't have to use both. Some of our later harnesses are gonna just eliminate this ground on the relay just for simplicity's sake. So again, if that's the case, then you're just gonna use the ground ring and you will just have the one red power to the harness, all right? Now, on the other end of our relay adapter, battery plus, battery minus. It goes on your battery plus, battery minus. Battery minus is also a ground, same thing. You can put it under a bolt. You don't have to put the battery minus to the battery. It's a ground. You can put it to a bolt, or you can put it to the battery. Battery plus has to go on the battery. We have our to switch, and that's gonna plug into one of our switch wires. Since we have a relay adapter here that has a 30 amp fuse, we can use any of our switches. So it doesn't matter if it's number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, etc. So now we just have to connect this end to this end. This is where it's a little challenging, but not too bad. We've got to get this connector cleanly behind our grill. You know, you could take it in here, that's gonna get in your way of your active shutters. You know, where else are you gonna take it? The connectors are too big, right? If you remove the connector from the end, this little tube is just gonna slide over the pin. You can pull the pins out of the connector. There's these little wings on the side. Make sure that they're bent back out because that's what retains them in. And that's what you're doing when you're pressing this removal tool on there, is you're squeezing those pins in so this connector slides out. Once you remove that connector, you'll be able to push down on this rubber strip right here so that you can feed your pins back behind your bumper. You can do it from the top, you can do it from the side. But once you're able to feed that in, like so, you can get that hidden. And you can do it from the inside. We're just doing this for this video. We'll just leave this here. Obviously, you don't want this sticking out. You could also remove the pins from here and try to slide that connector all the way in if you wanted to as well. But again, for the sake of this video, we'll just slide it in right here. On the back side, you're gonna slide your connector back on. A for the ground, B for the power for the main one, and it should be easy to tell. You got a plug in there. And then from the back side, you can plug your other connector in. You're gonna pull it up right here by your battery, and you're gonna make your connections. We have some videos that show you how to put the connectors on your switch wires, and our harnesses come with an add-on connector bag to do that. You can use those. You put the pins on your switch wires. We also have, and we have a video that shows you how to do that, as well as our switch wire extensions. And our switch wire extensions are numbered and they have connectors on them already. You just crimp those on your switch wires, gives you a longer switch wire so that you have better access. Makes it really easy to plug in that one connector to your connect to switch wire, just like so. And then you're gonna have power. So again, you're gonna tidy this up, you know, as cleanly as you can. And it's not that hard. You know, since it's under the vehicle, it's hard to get the camera under there for this angle. You're gonna push this through. When you stick your head in here from behind, you're gonna see that wire. I can feel it right now. And you can pull this up, zip tie it wherever you see anything clean. Make sure you don't put on anything hot, radiator hoses, and nothing moving. But that's pretty much it. So again, it's kind of hard to show you from the back side, you know, pulling this wire up and putting the connector back on. So we wanted to show you from the front side. When you slide your connector back on the back side, you're going to plug your harness in just like this. On the back side here, behind the headlight, you can look straight down here and you can see the ground. You're just going to pull this harness up, connect it to your relay. You're going to connect your power side to your battery where it says to battery plus, the ring to the battery where it says battery minus, and then to switch to one of your auxiliary switches, we put it on number 2, and we're going to go ahead and turn on switch number 2 and just see if we have power to our light bar. Now we've got our covers on, but I can see some light shining through there, so let's just pop a cover off here and see what we got. And there we've got light. So you can see how easy that is. Again, the only thing we took a shortcut here on this video is just pulling this through the backside. This is exactly how you're going to look on the backside. On the front side, you can see the harness long enough there. You're just going to go through here, up here, connect your relay adapter, battery plus, battery minus, to switch, and that's it. And that should complete our install for the Baja Designs linkable light bar for the 24 Plus F-150 Raptor. All right, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Visit us at spvparts.com for this light kit and many others for all your off-road vehicles. And make sure you check out our other videos. We're gonna have a new video coming out with a full demonstration of this light bar and several other kits that we've got for this new Raptor. We'll see you on the next video.